can record this meeting. All right. Welcome, everybody. My name is Amos Hammer. I work in human resources, which is also called EOTA, Employee and Organizational Development and Advancement. I work primarily with technical projects and training. I work a lot with learning management systems and recruiting systems and all kinds of ERP and CRM systems. So I'm your technical person, but I'm also your friendly training person. I love to create content and make things accessible for everyone to learn. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I have a short presentation. It's going to go over the project, which is CHRS Recruiting. It's our new recruiting solution system. And I will go ahead and give you an overview of this new system. I will dive a little bit into some of the new changes to our processes with recruiting, but I'm not going to go too deep. There's plenty of opportunity for questions anytime. If I pause and you just want to ask a question, feel free to do so. If not, you can add it to the chat and I'll try to pause and look at the chat periodically. Anyway, before I do get started, are there any comments or questions off the bat, or does somebody have anything they have to ask right away?
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask if this new system is replacing the Interfolio.
It will later this year. At some point, we will move tenure track recruitments also to CHRS Recruiting. I think that's going to happen in April or May, but we will be still having those conversations as to what is the actual cutoff date for some of these other legacy systems that we're currently using. I imagine it'll probably be towards the end of the year that everything will, like, there will be no access to other systems like PeopleSoft, eRecruit, and Interfolio.
Really? PeopleSoft is going to be part of this?
The eRecruit portion of it is going away. So all recruiting will actually take place in CHRS Recruiting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Not Marie, not the regular PeopleSoft that you work in all the time.
Yeah,
Oh.
just eRecruit, the module eRecruit. Yeah, not the whole system. We're not there yet. Eventually, I'm sure at some point PeopleSoft will have to upgrade or go away, but not today, not this year, probably not this decade.
Okay, great.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement going on right now with our Chancellor's Office CHRS Recruiting team, and there's a lot of upgrades currently in the works. It's a 3-year project where right now we're 3 years still before we'll finalize everything with all the different modules. This particular module we're actually replacing right now is called eRecruit. It's for recruiting. That portion will go away this year. Any other questions? I heard somebody else pipe up a moment ago.
Yeah, Dave.
I just wanted to make sure you spell out what all the acronyms are. I'm not familiar with most of them at this point.
Okay, no problem.
Thanks.
Yeah, so the CHRS Recruiting, CHRS, is our Common Human Resources System. This is the platform that we all use for all the CSUs. And it's at the chancellor's level. It's called the Common Human Resources System, CHRS. All right. Any other questions for us?
Just a quick question, Amos. Interfolio is used for recruitment. It's also used for evaluation. Mm-hmm. Is the CHRS going to be used for evaluation of faculty eventually?
Yes, it does have that option. You can actually review. There's a search committee review. There's panel review. There's different ways to use CHRS Recruiting. So for the staff side and the faculty side, you guys use them totally different. And some of the features you use, they don't use, or vice versa.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And later this year, when we do go with tenure track and we do that section where we start onboarding those people for that recruiting process, there will be more training. This is just for you guys, this training that I'm offering. for our testing purposes. We're in the third round of our UAT testing, which is user acceptance testing. So we're trying to get your feedback, figure out if there's any other adjustments we need to make with our actual platform, in addition to any of the training that we're going to be offering. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, just interrupt me if you have any questions. I'm happy to pause. Our agenda today, I've introduced myself. I don't know everybody on the call, but I don't want to waste everybody's precious time. We're going to get to know each other quite intimately over the next week and a half while I'm training with you guys. And feel free to reach out to me directly at any point. You can email me. You can call the number in my signature. It comes to my cell phone. And you can catch me on Teams. I'm really good about Teams. The project, we're going to go over a project overview. I'm going to give you guys a background on the project and what's involved. I'm going to show you a very brief transition timeline. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the software and the integration with PeopleSoft. It's going to be a high level process flow. So I'm not going to go real deep and go into the nitty gritty details, but I'm going to give you a broad overview. I'm going to also show you some screenshots for the dashboards, and I'm going to talk more about the learning sessions and the open labs that I have scheduled and the time we have set aside for this. And you'll also be able to ask questions and I'll be able to provide answers. So CHRS recruiting is our common human resources system. And what it does is it's a combination of our human resources system for the CSU. It utilizes PeopleSoft in addition to a new product called PageUp. And we have combined these systems to work for us for our whole CSU. It's going to combine some of our HR functions that we use currently outside of any system. So we're going to take some of your manual processes and paper, and we're going to digitize it and automate it. We're going to use it for all staff, MPP, tenure track, full and part-time temp faculty recruitments. At some point, we are also going to be able to next year start onboarding our student workers and our auxiliary recruitments. At some point, like we discussed a little earlier, eRecruit functionality, which is a portion of PeopleSoft, it's a module, and Interfolio will be replaced with CHRS recruiting. And CHRS recruiting is distinguished, and it's not PeopleSoft and it's not Interfolio. It integrates with PeopleSoft. It's PageUp is a system that integrates with PeopleSoft. And not everything is in the system. Some of your processes currently are manual processes that exist outside of any system, and that involves an email or maybe even a piece of paper still. I'm not sure exactly all the nitty gritty details for each of your roles, but I do know that we've taken quite a bit of the manual process out of it for you. So you're going to be really pleasantly surprised with all the efficiencies you're going to gain.
Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
Sorry. So it's going to be for recruiting part-time lecturers as well, right? Or hiring part-time lecturers.
It is.
So right now, when we hire a part-time lecturer, we don't have to rehire them unless it's been over 2 years. Is that still going to be the same way? Like if they were hired 1 year, they can be rehired the next year without having to do this whole process again, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So you're going to use this system for lecturer pools, and it's going to provide a platform for people to apply for the pool. If there is a break in service and they have to reapply, that could happen, I guess, if they're gone for a while. But if they're actively working in our system, they won't need to reapply.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So why are we implementing this new solution? There's a number of reasons, but this is a system-wide CSU implementation. So all campuses are moving to this new system. By the end of this implementation that we're currently working on, which we're scheduled to go live on January 28th with lecturer pool and staff as well. There's some pilots going on. Not everyone's going to jump into the system at once, but We will be the 11th campus, I think, using the system. So we're about halfway through with the whole CSU implementation. Currently, I think there's 6 campuses currently using the system and 5 that are in our current implementation. It's going to provide a great consistency across the whole CSU to streamline a lot of the processes we currently do differently at each campus. So it's going to provide system-wide reporting in addition. So there's some really awesome reporting features in this new system that are going to allow us to capture metrics we currently can't capture and metrics that we want to capture in the future. Let's see, there's so many benefits, you guys. I just could go on and on and on, but I don't want to drag out this presentation is normally scheduled for an hour and I don't want to use up all the time just for these slides. But I want to give you guys as much information as you need. So just jump in and ask any question that you don't know or you might have. I have this really very short video. I'll just show it to you real quick. It's a couple of minutes, maybe 3 minutes. Oh, I forgot to share my sound. I'm sorry. Bear with me. All right. So lots of people are impacted by this new system. Anybody who's hiring an employee on any campus, that includes hiring managers, department chairs, analytics or analysts, administrative staff, some of the HR business partners, search committees, university personnel like our HR office, applicants, even our customer service center is impacted by this new system because we're changing a lot of processes and moving things around. Let's see. So we will have a timeline starting 10 days prior to January 28th where no recruitments will be posted. I don't think we're actually posting very many right now currently. So it's going to be about 10 days before we go live. We will not post in PeopleSoft or eRecruit. And then later this year, Interfolio will have that same freeze probably at the end of April or May, whenever that is established. Once we go live, we'll only be posting in the new system. During our testing, we're going to be posting in a special testing area of the system.
What does page up stand for? What does it mean?
That is the name of the company, the
Oh.
system. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the software. So it's like the PeopleSoft of PeopleSoft, the page up of page up. Yeah, if you Googled it, you would find that that software company, and you'd be able to learn more about that system. So our system access is going to be actually assigned through PeopleSoft using permissions and roles. And those assignments will be automatic for some people and manual for others, depending on your role. So everybody who is a hiring manager or a department chair will have a certain level of access, and it'll be the same for those people. And it'll be the same for all the analysts and the HR business partners. So we've established some roles and permissions. So it'll let you see different areas of the system that you need to have access to, and not make other areas available that you don't need access to. Anybody who comes into a new position will not automatically be assigned depending on their role. So like if you are a HERA manager, you automatically get the hiring manager access. But for instance, if you are someone like me who doesn't hire people but does go on panels for interviews, I would have to be manually assigned to that role because I don't have anybody that reports to me. So I don't automatically get to have hiring manager access. So there's some roles and permissions. So if anybody doesn't have access to something that they do need, you could just reach out to me. We have a team to support this system in our CHRS department. That is my department, and that is in human resources. So there are 5 different lead recruiters and 2 admin level people that can support you. This is a shared system, meaning that all of the CSUs are going to be using the same system. So what that means is at some times you will see different workflows or processes that are for other campuses. And I won't show you any screenshots today on that. We'll get more into this during our learning labs and our learning sessions, but everything that belongs to Pomona, whether it's a recruitment process, an application form, a reference form, it will begin with the letters PO for Pomona. So you will see PO in front of different titles, and that means that that process belongs to Pomona. I'm just going to pause if anyone has any questions. Feel free to ask them. The term team inside of our new system refers to a department or a department ID. So you'll see team or teams, and just understand that that relates to your department or the departments that you manage if you have multiple departments. The card is referring to a job card or a job posting. There are applicant cards, offer cards, and job cards. These 3 items are primarily the most important areas you work in. You really won't do much more outside of that, but some of you will, depending on your roles. All right, we already touched a little bit about the integration with PeopleSoft in our new system. What it's going to do is it's going to help us move applicant data from this new system to PeopleSoft. And that involves a variety of data, their department data, the position data, the new employee data, including their security information. So there's all kinds of data that we'll be moving back and forth for new hires. There's just so much, I can't go over all of it in this meeting, but you will learn along the way during the next few weeks and ongoing about the different needs that this system is fulfilling. This is a kind of a workflow to kind of show you how it's going to move. So currently we have to initiate a job, and then that's the job card. And we're going to learn more about this. There's only certain people who will be posting these jobs. So not everybody will need to post a job, but especially if it's a temporary job, like a pool position. So pools can be posted once a year or once every 5 years. It kind of depends on your needs as a department. Then we get that job approved, that pool or that position, and it gets posted to the career site where people can apply to it and applicants can go in and submit their resumes. Then those applications are screened or reviewed and moved into the interview stage, and those people are interviewed. Then a finalist is selected, a reference check and a background check is completed, and an offer is prepared. Once the offer is approved, it goes through an approval process. And once it's approved, the offer is extended to the candidate. And then at that point, they accept the job offer and the onboarding process begins. There's a new onboarding process. I can't wait to share it with you guys. It's really amazing.
Amos, I have a question for you.
Mhm.
With regards to department lecturer pools, they don't necessarily have a specific recruitment position, but it is in fact opening up, to apply for the lecturer pool in whatever department that is. So does that then have sort of one card that is open all the time? And then as people want to apply for the lecture pool, they just apply into that? Is that how that would work?
Yes, exactly. So you would have a pool for every department and it would be open. Currently on the staff side in HR, we have pools we open once a year and close once a year for specific jobs like custodial pools, administrative pools. So each of your departments will have a pool. People can apply. And then that's where probably your analysts or department coordinators go and review the applications to make sure they have all the materials. And then they say, yes, these people have everything. And then I imagine they start scheduling interviews and then you guys select your finalists and then you offer the job. Yeah, it's pretty neat.
So as for staff applying for positions that are open on campus and it says they will prepare an offer, isn't there not a pay range attached to the position that they're applying for?
Yes. When you have pools, you can actually have as many jobs as you'd like in that pool, and you can assign specific position numbers to them with specific ranges. This all happens later on when you make an offer. Initially, when you post a job, you're not doing all of that, but when you make the offer, you have to fill in all those details and it has to be approved. There's an approval process.
Well, we don't usually have pools for staff. We only replace them when one leaves. So.
Oh, you mean just like one recruitment, like one position?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one would be very specific then. If you're only it's not a pool, it's just one position, then yes, you're going to put all of that information in the job card initially. And then when you do make the offer, it still goes through an approval process to make sure everything's right there. And then it gets offered.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So we've been working really hard to refine this process for you guys as best as we can. Here is a really in-depth process map of the current temporary faculty lecturer process and what it's going to look like in the future. So I'll just go over it real briefly. We talked about this job card on the start where it's a 1.1. It's going to be created and routed for approval. And then after it's approved, it's going to go to the faculty affairs area where Grace is actually going to post it to the career site. This process is very similar to what you guys do right now. You have websites with your pools posted. We're just going to be posting it in this career site. And then the applicant can apply to the pool. Then those applications are reviewed. And then the interviews are conducted up at the top, 2.2. And then they are marked successful or not successful. And then we can initiate that background check. Looks like the admin analyst does quite a bit of the back and forth with the background check. The conditional offer is made and hopefully it's accepted. And that background check is completed successfully. And then a welcome letter is created and extended. And if that is accepted, this applicant will actually start the onboarding process in CHRS recruiting. The POI would be created then, and then you guys would create the teaching contract, I believe it's what it's called, and send that to the actual applicant. I'll just pause there if there's any questions about the process. If we've missed anything, I hope we have. I hope we nailed it on the head for you guys, because this is going to be really fun for you. I think a lot easier than what you're currently doing. There are a couple of different views inside of this new system, the dashboard, depending on your role and your permission level. What you see may look differently as search committee versus an department coordinator, for example. You'll notice this first menu, this would be like a hiring manager. What they would see, they would have like tiles with lots of different areas they could go to where they could view the jobs they have open. Any of the advertisements are current or pools, whatever advertisements are posted in the Career Center, you would have access to those and see those. This other view would be like an analyst or a department coordinator, where you pretty much, there's a hamburger menu on both of these views at the top left that opens up and shows you all of the areas. That's the same for everybody. It's just I should have shown that slide too, but I didn't. You'll see it soon enough, hopefully tomorrow. We've got these learning sessions I've scheduled here. I went into the calendar and I tried to find times where it looked like almost everyone was available. These are the ones I'm going to send these out after this meeting for you guys to go ahead and add to your calendars. There's 4 different sessions from tomorrow through next Thursday. So we will go over basically everything I just showed you in that process map, and we'll do it together. I also have some open learning labs. So after each of these sessions, I have these times set aside where I will just be in the Zoom hanging out, waiting for you. If you just want to join me and ask questions or get some more information, maybe talk more in depth about some of the processes. There's so many things that you guys will get to learn over the next few of these sessions, and I'm sure there'll be lots of questions at some point. But I just wanted to let you know that I have set aside these special times that are just for improv, ad hoc learning. So you'll have plenty of resources. I will be recording every session and making them available to you guys as well, so you can review them while we're learning and doing the testing in this 3rd round of testing. I'm also creating our training content and creating some step-by-step guides and some videos. So you guys are really contributing to the whole campus's learning while we're doing this together.
Amos, could you sort of spell all this out? Because I think all of these things that you're speaking about are a surprise to many of us who are sitting here today. We thought that this was going to be the learning session. And so when you're now speaking of 4, sessions over the next week and a half and these open labs and all these kind of things, could you please help explain exactly what the expectations are?
Sure. So for our UAT, user acceptance testing, we need to utilize our process, and we will basically start here. We will go through all of these processes together and finalize. So we're going to post, interview, hire, and onboard imaginary applicants. Basically, I can do this all in one session, but it would be a pretty long session because you've never seen the system. And primarily, if you see here these roles, we've got the admin analyst here who does these specific topics. And then we've got the department coordinator who's creating a posting and reviewing. These 2 tasks, literally, they're not very hard to do, but it's not necessary for everybody in the room to be at these learning sessions. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can break it down like that. I wasn't sure what would be the best approach for you guys. If you have any suggestions, I'm definitely willing to be flexible.
I just have one question. Like, if you weren't able to go to every learning session, are you going to send out like the information to us so that we could at least have it in paper and try it on our own or something like that?
Absolutely. I can send you some videos. Like step by step. I've been creating videos. I don't have all the videos today, but very soon, maybe tomorrow, I would have more videos to share with you. I would love to meet with the analysts and the department coordinators if you guys are available. Your role is the most in depth here. this process for the department chair to actually review or interview somebody is a 1 minute process for them. But these positions, this moving somebody through these, offers is going to take a little more practice. So if anybody can't attend, yes, we'll have some videos for you guys. There will be some more training. You're the first people I've talked to, so you're getting like the specialized training. But there are going to be ongoing trainings, probably where we're going to be onboarding people college by college after January 28th. So there will be more training for you guys. After we do go live, this is your initial offering to get that first piece, because you're going to get more training than anyone else.
And you said you would be recording all
Yes.
of these workshops as well, so we can look at them later.
Absolutely. Yes. You're going to be able to, you're going to be able to rewatch the videos. And you're not going to really miss too much here.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you
Thank
guys
you.
feel about this? Are you guys excited? Are you nervous?
Well, it's new, and new things are always a little overwhelming. So it's going to require some learning of how to manage all these pieces. But this is university wide. You said everybody's doing this, and it's CSU wide.
It is CSU wide. We don't really have a big choice in the matter, but we could take more time if we need to. We're not in a rush. I do think if you are able to attend the learning sessions, you're going to pick up a great deal of information in a short amount of time, and it'll really take out of the anxiety out of, if you have any about it, or apprehension. Once you get in there, once you join me, and we get in there and we start moving around, you're going to be like, this is really cool. It's going to be a lot easier. I don't know if you remember when you upgraded from your flip phone to your smartphone, what that felt like, but that's what it feels like to me.
I'm
like,
still upgrading. Amos, I'm still upgrading.
Oh, I worked for T-Mobile and Xerox for many years, and I worked with a lot of mobile people or telecom. So if you need any help, let me know.
I'd like to encourage those people who are asking questions in the chat to actually ask them aloud, because they're not getting answered right yet. And that would be helpful if you would actually ask those questions aloud.
Oh, I didn't even check my chat.
I can ask my question. This is Anne. Hope I'm unmuted, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. I had a question about who will be able to have access to the system. Because in our department, we've got a chair of the search committee who would do a lot of the coordinating of this process. So would that person be able to be given access as the sort of at the management level?
Yeah. So they're a search committee member currently?
It would be a search committee chair, and then we would have members of the whole department is the search committee usually. Well, it has been in the past, but we do have a chair of the search committee who's often not the department chair.
Sure, absolutely. If they don't already have the permission they need, we can definitely give them the permission they do need. We've gone through all of the campus stakeholders in a massive list and have refined the teams they belong to and the permissions they should have. But like I said, some of those permissions need to be manual because we don't know the needs of everybody specifically. So if somebody is missing something, yes, they can definitely get it.
Okay.
I have another question. Sorry.
Keep going.
But you said right now, this is just for hiring right now, right? Because you said it does have to do with HR and payroll. So is this where we're going to report our time off still, or our absences, or are we still doing that in PeopleSoft?
Oh yes, definitely. You're still going to use PeopleSoft all the time for your time. And any of the,
and your personal information and all that kind of stuff.
This is a new system that's for new employees. When we hire them and when we onboard them. Once we onboard them, that data in the system moves into PeopleSoft and creates records for their position and their job data. So all of that is still in PeopleSoft. This is just the vehicle that's going to help get the data there automatically instead of manually. Yeah, a lot of the processes in recruiting on both sides of the house are manual, paper-driven processes. So we're replacing those processes with automations now. So you're gonna get notifications from CHRS recruiting instead of from your coworkers, because this process is going to automate those emails for you. I can't wait to show you this system. As we move people through this testing process, you're going to be really amazed how much more you can do in less time.
I have a question. This is Victoria. So when I'm looking at this recruitment process, it does look like when you break it up into different areas, it looks like the department coordinators, which I would assume are us, we're having less impact on the lecture part of the hiring process now, which is fine. But I'm just curious, like this is going to be the way in the areas that are responsible for each of the processes, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you notice, the applicant has their part where they apply and where they accept their offers and get onboarded, and then department quarters create the postings, and then Grace is going to post them to the site, and then the department coordinator is going to review all the applications and say, yes, these are successful. They have all the information. Your department chair is going to interview the people, and mark them successful or not successful. So, and then it's going to go to the analyst, who has a lot more to do in the process, in the system.
So who is the admin analyst?
I'm going to have to
Alex.
defer to Grace on that one because I don't know everyone's names.
Cruz. Alex will be doing it's still going to be the same. Like the department coordinators usually do the paperwork, but now it'll be in the system. And as soon as Alejandra see that all the required documents are in, then she could start the process, the background check, everything.
Okay, but
So instead of you collecting, those.
don't approve all the applicants really, because for a lecture, I would think that the department chair would approve the applicants. We just have to make sure all their information is in there and correct.
No, Alex will just, whoever the chair wanted to hire, then she would only work on that one.
Okay.
Even though you have tons of applicants, we're not going to process all those unless you're ready to hire them.
But the department chair would have access to review the applicants.
Yes, if they want to interview, or they could just say, I already interviewed him, go ahead and hire him, then you're good to go.
Okay.
So if you consider, for all the coordinators, if you consider that where it says department chair interviews the candidate and then says phone or video screen successful, that's really saying, is this the person for the lecture? Is this the person that we want to hire? If this is the person that we're going to hire for that, for teaching certain classes, now we're going to send that information to Alex, like you usually do. And then Alex is going to initiate the background check, make sure that the contract is sent, all of those same kinds of things that she would be doing automatically. The decision is still going to come at the department chair level. So those kinds of things are not changing. It's just the fact that this is all going to be in this specific system instead of paperwork being handed off in different manners.
Yes, right.
Okay.
I think what was this is Erica, sorry. I had a question about sort of this conditional offer step and the fact that it doesn't look like the department chair is involved at all. But I think in practice, there's sort of a loop back to the department chair at between sort of step 3.1 and 3.3. That's maybe not in the workflow here.
So Erica, there's always a conditional offer because it says on the contract that if they don't pass the background check, that's how we can remove that offer. That's the only part of that. So that's already, like I'm saying, as what we do right now. But, you know, we've not had that, fortunately, we've not had that situation where people aren't passing their background checks. So
Got
it's still the same process that you're thinking about.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Sorry.
These are excellent questions. All right. Is there any more questions that I can help? I mean, Dr. Levine's doing a fabulous job responding. Yes, this is your same process. It's just in this new system, which is going to help us gather data and metrics, can create a great world-class onboarding experience for the applicant. It's going to be more professional. Just like all those other big companies out there that hire lots of people, we are a big organization. So this is going to be our new brand. It's going to hopefully make us the employer of choice. I don't know how long ago you guys were hired, but I've only been here a couple of years, and my onboarding experience was not wonderful. And it was there was a lot of miscommunication and lost emails, and I'm just excited to step it up and upgrade this system so much. Are there any other questions? Does anyone else have any more questions?
I just want to say that this temp faculty, it's different from the tenure track hiring.
Mm-hmm.
That's more complicated. We're starting with an easy thing. Because yours is way complicated, the tenure track hiring.
Mm. Yes, I have that process map too. It is a lot more in depth at the tenure track when they're hiring. Those approvals go through a much more rigorous approval process. And there's 3 different rounds of approvals that have to happen. And it's a very detailed process, but it is going to be broken down the same way with different roles. And you'll be able to identify what your piece is and what your part is in this. And the guides will help you that we're creating right now do those things. And we're going to, like I said, the training isn't going to stop. We're going to be training pretty much all year as we roll out the different processes to the different groups. So we're just starting with this pilot for lecturers right now. And like I said, staff has their own pilot with several different areas. And then tenure track will come later this year. But we'll continue training throughout the rest of the year. We'll be offering open labs twice a month at minimum after we've gone live. So you can always stop in one of those sessions. There's going to be lots of support for you guys. All right. Well, I'm excited. And if you have any questions, I'm going to hang out. Otherwise, I'm going to send you guys some invites to the open labs and the learning sessions. Please join me and get your foot in the door here with Page Up, CHRS recruiting, and take advantage of this early training opportunity and testing. We're going to move fake applicants from the beginning to the end of this process over the next until the 14th of this month. So we've got 4 sessions coming up. They're going to be very to the point because I've broken them down. I've taken this whole process and broken it down into 4 learning sessions. So attend them if you can. I will provide the videos and any resources that I'm creating along the way to you on a regular basis. And I hope that I'm here, that I can be the resource that you guys need. Feel free to reach out to me anytime.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, you guys have a great week.
Thank you, Amos.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Amos.
You're welcome.
Goodness.
Happy New Year.
Yes, thank you.
Amos.
Happy
Too.
New Year.
Amos, are you doing this with every college?
I am. We're going to go college by college after we go
Okay.
live.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are the first, and then we'll move on to the next. We'll keep going until we're done, and then we'll turn right back around and do tenure track, and we'll go college by college. So I'll turn right back around, and we'll do, more. And then we have the staff side too. We're doing department by department. There's different areas we're working with. It's real exciting, you guys. It's a big project. We've been working on this since it's been almost a year. So Page Up is a trigger word in my house.
And are all the CSU campuses doing it simultaneously?
We're doing it in different waves. So we're currently in wave 4. So we're the 4th wave, and there is wave 5 just started, and there will be a 6th wave.
Wow.
I know. So there's still more work across the CSU for it, but we're almost ready to go live.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Yeah, I think you guys are going to enjoy this system. It's really easy to use.
Yeah, in the long run, it'll be helpful. It's just, like with anything, when it's something new, that's always a little disconcerting. And
it kind of strikes me a similar process that happened with travel, right? It was all used to be paper and then it moved to.
Yeah.
So this is all used to be paper and now it's moving to CHRS.
Yes.
Yeah. Ames, do you know, is the whole CSU now going to Canvas from Blackboard?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's
For the
happening.
learning management?
That is also happening. We are moving in that direction for Canvas. There's also a couple of other implementations in HR right now that we're working on simultaneously to enhance compensation and classification processes and position description reviews, in-class progressions. There's all kinds of work going on with talent management. So this next 2 years is going to be, we're going to really see some big changes across our whole campus.
But I see the system, CSU system seems to be doing a lot of this, normalizing. Everything's going to be semester, everything's going to use concurrent, going to use CHRS. I mean, they're really standardizing much of what I'm seeing. Canvas. I know the community college system apparently uses Canvas. Does the community college system use CHRS and PeopleSoft? I just don't know.
Our California community college system, I don't know if they use CHR. They don't use Page Up. I don't think they do, but the California State University system does use the same system we're moving to.
Got it.
Hey, Miss, would it be possible to throw up on the screen the trainings over the next week again, so that actually Marie and I can start coordinating between the two of us to make sure we cover all of them?
Sure.
That would be awesome. Thank you.
Okay, let me close this chat. So tomorrow, 2:30 to 3:30.
Yeah, it'll be real exciting to see the learning management system move to Canvas.
So there's 4 training sessions. That's it, and then there's going to be the one that comes after that. The
open labs. These
open
are just anyone can drop by anytime during this time frame and ask questions or get more assistance or figure out what they might need. But we're going to do everything together in the learning sessions, moving people through the process, hiring them. It's going to be pretty cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
Thanks, Amos.
You're very welcome.
Is it over now?
It's over. I'm just hanging out if there's any questions, you guys. This is what I do. I hang out until the last person.
Nice seeing everybody, and have a good week.
Yep.
See ya.
Thanks again. Have a good week.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye.